What a lovely surprise. Here to help us make it work is Tim Gunn. He's got a new book, The Natty Professor, but right now, we're going to make him talk politics, which I suspect he's going to love for a number of reasons, not the least of which is, as we've discussed, you've been on Capitol Hill lobby.
Oh, I
have.
You
know the fashion. You've been very critical of Washington, of Capitol Hill.
I have.
Why?
Well, first of all, what's wrong with Capitol Hill? I believe in the semiotics
It's a long list.
Well, I know, exactly. But I believe in the semiotics of clothes. The clothes we wear, like it or not, sends a message about how the world perceives us. And these are elected officials. They're ambassadors for their constituents. And I look at Leader Nancy Pelosi, incredibly beautifully dressed and owning her gender and being a serious role model, and Mrs. Obama. It doesn't get any better than that. So why can't other women on the Hill follow in their footsteps, if only just to emulate? And then when it comes to men, I don't even know what to say.
Don't even know how to start.
Well, it's because everything's at least 2 sizes too big.
That's DC.
It's got to stop.
So let's start. Ted Cruz has already announced what should he have worn when he spoke at Liberty University.
Well, I have a very particular point of view about this, and I believe in authenticity. I believe that the Republicans writ large are all hiding behind a uniform of sorts, and I really want to know who that individual is. Who is Ted Cruz when it comes to choosing his own apparel and accessories, and even when it comes to grooming? I feel as though this is rather like the Hollywood red carpet with stylists, that there are political advisors saying, you will wear this, you will wear that, you want to be uncontroversial. Well, I look at the clothes as being a matter, in the current state, of just a matter of blandness, where, if anything, the political views of the individuals are even more accentuated. And in many cases with these Republicans, you don't want that to happen. So distract me with your clothing.
Yeah. I think maybe people joke around about it, but this matters. There's political consultants who are saying you will wear this, you will wear this tie, you will wear this shirt, you will wear this suit, your spouse will wear this, this, and this. In your experience, how much to the eye of a potential voter does how Ted Cruz walks out on stage really have an impact?
Well, admittedly, I do have my biases. For me, it's everything.
So Rand Paul, senator from Kentucky, is expected to be the next Republican in. He's rocked the mock turtleneck every once in a while, wears jeans more regularly than most. What do you get the sense of? What's he trying to portray when you see that?
Country boy, man of the people, accessibility. I believe that is within his whole bundle of semiotics when it comes to the message that his clothes are sending. And quite frankly, I think it's appropriate.
Chris Christie, from New Jersey, tough guy. Tough guy. You're already groaning.
I wouldn't want to be in a dark alley with him, that's for sure.
No, I don't think anybody. What do you do if you're Chris Christie? What's the image you're trying to portray?
Well, seriousness, reliability, honesty and integrity, all things that, of course, he's battling. And he needs suits that fit him better. And whenever anyone talks about a larger man and how it's so challenging, look at James Gandolfini, may he rest in peace. He looked fantastic in his suits. And Christie looks as though he could potentially go into Walmart and start shoplifting and no one would be able to tell.
You have been particularly hard on Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in the past.
I have been.
Right?
I have been very critical of her style.
You're changing your tune.
Oh. I have done a 180-degree about-face. Mrs. Clinton is looking exceptionally presidential, and what pleases me so much is that she does understand semiotics. She clearly gets it. When she was the First Lady, I saw this enormous arc of growth happen in terms of her personal style and fashion. She entered the White House, I thought, rather frumpy. I felt that she exited as an angel of fashion. When she became the senator from New York, I thought, okay, she's the senator from New York. This is a license to do anything. And she disappointed me, to be honest. Now, I have to say, as Secretary of State, you couldn't pay me enough money to have that position. In fact, she may look at the presidency and think, I'll feel physically lighter for being the president and not being the Secretary of State.
Yep.
So I forgave her a lot of her fashion foibles because she was awake 24/7 and constantly flying around and meeting and greeting. I don't think I'd be surprised if she had time to change her underwear.
One last question
before
I let you go, and this is important. Cowboy boots. They are an accessory that is being rocked by no shortage of Republican candidates, even more perhaps Democratic candidates, depending on the state you go to. Your view on cowboy boots?
I think they're too much of a stereotype, and I feel it's too forced and contrived and old hat, and it doesn't impress me even remotely.
What if you're from Texas?
It impresses me less.
Not that you have anything against Texas, but just maybe you have something against Texas.
I heard recently that they want to secede from the Union.
I think that's been a steady thing for the better part of the last couple of decades. Tim Gunn, you are a fashion connoisseur, you are an author, you are an advocate. You are a darn good Capitol Hill lobbyist from what I've heard from lawmakers and aides. I want to thank you very much for coming in. We have already ordered our copies of The Natty Professor. Tim, we will see you next time, and we'll be right back.